Good morning, trading world. It is October 14, 2022, 8:16 a.m. on the East Coast, and this is my pre-market outlook and technical analysis for day trading the markets. CPI is gone and the dust is settling. Now, what do we have left? We have a bullish engulfing candle that engulfed the 3 days before it. I want to kind of touch on the difference from making a bottom to making the bottom. There is a bottom on every time frame chart every day, but the bottom is something set where it may take years to come back and test, if at all. So can you guess what type of bottom we just reached? Yeah, nothing special, just a bottom. Now, looking at the VIX, I had been calling for a touch of the 35 level to kind of settle appetites for fear temporarily. The highest we got was 34.88. This left me puzzled. Not quite sure I should be satisfied with that. 34.88 is 34.88, not 35. It wouldn't surprise me to turn around somewhere between 371 and 375 and go retest lows. At that point, I can see us spending the bigger chunk of what's left of the year going after 390.45 before reversing horribly again. So what do we do until then? Well, it's an up day, and I like to find short candidates on up days. And if it's a down day, we like to find long candidates on down days. Right now, Exxon and Pepsi are looking good and close to short entries for me. And I will keep an eye on that throughout the day. Let's get to the key levels to watch for the day. Alright, here we are back with the key levels of the day. Starting on the support side, we have our jack support at 366 to the 365 area. Then we have our queen support 364 to the 363 area. And then covering a lot of distance, we have the king support at 362 to the 350 area. All right, on the excuse me, on the resistance side, we have our jack resistance at 368 to the 369 level. Then we have our queen resistance 370 to the 372 area, and then king resistance 373 all the way up to the 376 area. The main thesis today is bullish, closing above the 365.97 with a projected target high of between 366 and 374. The alternate thesis is bearish, closing below the 365.97 with a projected target low of between 365 and 353. The current major channel we are in is 364 up to 379. The major channel below is 364 all the way down to 353. We do have dissonance between the technical side, which is bearish, and the quant side, which is bullish. We ripped through a lot of order flow yesterday, so we must consolidate lower before any move higher can sustain. That doesn't mean we don't push back up into the 370s. It just means consolidation is going to be on the super stretched out end of that rubber band, getting into the 370s, which is going to eventually have that snap back. So that's the consolidation part of it. And like I said, before we can even push higher outside of that 375, 376 area, we have to kind of consolidate a little lower. Let's get to the scenarios of the day. Alright, here we are with our first and most probable scenario. It's going to be our range day structure. We could have an initial drop down, find support, and chop back and forth, and still end up mildly higher on the day. So this is pretty much the range day structure. We're going to set a boundary on each end, both high and low, and then we're going to chop between those boundaries and possibly pushing one of those boundaries, the upward boundary, a little higher. So again, that's our range day structure. Let's get to the next. Alright, our second scenario is going to be our rounded reversal day type structure. We could get a continued push higher toward the jack or queen resistance area. Find midday chop around either the queen or king resistance area before spending the same energy we use going up to come back down the second half of the day. Again, that's our rounded reversal day type structure. And here we have the last scenario, which is going to be our trend day down, which means we open, gap down, and start with a pop back towards the previous close represented by the blue line. We find resistance on or before that previous close, then begin the downtrend for the day. We find midday chop around either the possible queen or king support area, and the rest of the day start the second half with a possible head fake, and then look for at some point a kind of pop back into the close. Before I move to the next scenario, I want to address a vice versa alert on the trend day. And what that is, we could actually do the very opposite, which is open gap up here, and then fade back toward the previous close, and we would find support on or before that previous close, then get into our trend, dominant trend of the day. We find midday chop either around the possible queen, maybe king resistance area, and again we get that kind of head fake to start off the second part of the day, and this time we would get a fade into the close. So that is our vice versa alert on the trend day structure. As always, your most important job as a trader is to protect the capital that you already have. We do this by knowing and understanding risk that we have on in each position, and we manage that risk in accordance to our account size. I hope this helps. As always, wishing you a positive trading day. Have a great one.